television, and the set was still on, though with the sound turned off. It was the biggest set Wexford had ever seen, at any rate in a domestic setting. He guessed she spent a fair proportion of her time watching it, and perhaps felt uneasy when the screen was blank. There was no seat in the room that didn't face it. He sat on the end of the sofa, at an angle, turning his back. Joy Williams' eyes flickered over the flashing figures of skaters taking part in some contest. She sat on the extreme edge of her chair. "Did your wife tell you what I—" She said something. He interrupted to save her the embarrassment he could see already mottling her nose and cheeks with dull red. "Something about your husband being missing." Joy Williams laughed. It was a laugh he was to hear often and get to know, a harsh cackle. There was no humour in it, no gaiety, no amusement. She laughed to hide emotion, or because she knew no other way of showing it. The hands in her lap stretched and clenched. She wore a very wide, heavily chased platinum or white gold wedding ring, with an even more ornate platinum or white gold engagement ring, containing amid the pits and pyramids a minuscule diamond. "He went on a trip to Ipswich, and I haven't seen him since." "Your husband's a sales representative, I think Dora said." "With Seven Smith Harding," she said. "The paint people." She needn't have added that. Seven Smith Harding were probably the biggest suppliers to builders' merchants and home-decorating retail stores in the south of England. Seven-star matte and silk emulsion coated 1,000,000 walls, he thought, between Dover and Land's End. He and Dora had just had their second bedroom done up in it, and if he wasn't much mistaken, the paintwork in Mrs. Williams' own hall was the newest shade in Seven Shines non-drip, high-gloss, whole wheat. "He covers Suffolk for them," she began pushing the rings up and down. "It was last Thursday he went, yesterday week. It's the 23rd now, that must have been the 15th. He said he was going to Ipswich to stop the night and start first thing in the morning." "What time did he leave?" "It was evening time, about 6. He'd been home all afternoon." It was at this point that Wexford had his thought about the other woman. It would be a good 3.5-hour run from Kings Markham to Ipswich, even via the Dartford Tunnel. A salesman who was legitimately going to drive to Suffolk and could have started at 4 instead of 6 would surely have done so. "Where did he stay in Ipswich? At a hotel, presumably." "A motel. Outside Ipswich, I think." She spoke listlessly, as if she knew little about her husband's work and took no interest in it. The door opened and a girl came in. She stopped on the threshold and said, "Oh, sorry." "Sarah, what time did Dad go when he left?" "Around 6. Mrs. Williams nodded. She said, "This is my daughter, Sarah," pronouncing the name so that the first syllable rhymed with car. "I believe you've a son, too." "Kevin. He's 20. He's away at university." The girl stood with her arms over the back of the yellow plastic armchair no one was sitting in, her eyes fixed on her mother in a more or less neutral way, though one that tended towards the hostile rather than the friendly. She was very slender, fair, with the face of a Renaissance painter's model, small-featured, with a high forehead and a secretive look. Her hair was exceptionally long, reaching almost to her waist, and with the rippling appearance hair has, which is usually done up in plaits. She wore jeans and a T-shirt with a design on it of a raven, and the letters Arria superimposed over it. She picked up a photograph in a chrome frame off the only table in the room, a bamboo affair with a glass top almost hidden by the sofa back. Passing it to Wexford, she stuck her thumb at the head of a man sitting on a beach with a teenage boy and a girl who was herself 5 years before. The man was big, tall, but out of condition, and running to fat around his middle. He had a huge domed forehead. His features, perhaps because they were dominated by this bare dome, looked insignificant and crowded together, the mouth a lipless slit stretched into a smile for the camera. Wexford handed it back to her. She replaced it on the table, let her eyes linger on her